Hey guys, what's up? So today we're going to be doing a commentary narration over the short horror film The Herd with Melanie Light. Today we have Melanie Light. She is the director of the short film The Herd and others as well. She's worked in the film industry for about 10 years or so, yes?
Yeah, about 13 years now. So I've worked in the art department, production design, art directing sort of thing.
All right, so we're gonna get onto the commentary and narration of the movie. As we're watching the film, I'm gonna comment, and then feel free to throw, oh, on this scene we did this, so this was the hard thing to do here. But before I do that, the cast, like, incredible. I don't know how you got the girl from The Walking Dead.
Pollyanna McIntosh.
The two guards. They just play such great villains.
Yeah, well, Pollyanna I got because I did the art department on a short film for a friend, and Pollyanna was in it. It was kind of just as I was gearing up for The Herd, and I sort of basically was like, I really want you in my movie. I think she went on to The Walking Dead just after she did that.
That's probably because of you. I mean, you started her career.
I don't think so, but I'll take that. She's brilliant in that, so yeah, she's really good. And basically all the cast were all people that like I already knew from working on other films. I think Victoria Brew, just as I was just gearing up for The Herd, had sent me something on Twitter just saying, oh, I see you make short films, here's my show reel. And I was like, oh my God, it's Paula. This is the character that I want. And I was like, she's perfect. And then Dylan Barnes I got because one of the actors pulled out like 2 days before, right at the end. And he was brilliant at playing something. And one of John Camplin I just sort of had an eye on at the time, just from Twitter worlds and stuff. So yeah, it all just pulled together. And the kids, like all the young girls were just, I got literally the day before we started shooting, or 2 days before, because I was in Yorkshire, which is an actual farming town in the UK, and they just this girl just came over with her mum and was like, do you need any kids? And I was like, actually I do. And I was like oh God, thank God for that, because I hadn't planned any of it because I was doing so much myself. And then one of them came and gave me flowers at the end because she said she had such a lovely time and stuff. So
in the cage.
No, I didn't put children in cages. I just put them on beds that nearly fell apart. So
right. Okay. How do you feel when you watch your movies?
Are you
proud? Are you proud?
I am proud. I am proud because I also know how much hard work went into it. Mm-hmm. So and then I could watch it and then I will just feel frustrated. It's like, why isn't everybody helping me? I did this like kind of on my own, but with a little bit of help. But
what you tell me? What do you mean you did this on your own?
A lot of people watch The Herd and don't realize how DIY it basically was.
But it looks like a feature film, though. What's the budget, if I may ask?
So we got like £5,000, maybe £4,000-5,000 from crowdfunding, and then someone who was from Mags, she was on a filmmaking course and wanted to get into producing, and she gave I think we got £1,000 from her. Ed put in some of his savings, but I kind of put in most of the money. I think we probably spent like 10, but then like 10 whatever. I had to like use my credit card. It was just, it got really stressful. I lived in London at the time, and I had I took everyone to Yorkshire to film it, so they all had to be in accommodation. We had vegan catering as well, so we paid a pub, had a separate kitchen, and then we got free food from Fry's, who are a vegan food company, and they gave us like burgers and stuff. So that was pretty cool.
So first of all, so what's the Video Arcade?
So Video Arcade is Mike Pryor, who did the he did the sequence at the end. That's the credit sequence at the end. So, and he did that for free for me, and he had this really cool Video Arcade brand logo thing for his personal work, and I was like, that looked really sick at the beginning, and you've done stuff for free for me, so I'm going to put it at the beginning as a kind of payment in a way. Is
that your company? Eat Your Out?
Yeah, that was something that I just come up with because I thought it just makes us look more, I don't know, professional or something.
It's kind of like a Blair Witch project thing going, the titles, you know?
Yeah, I just dreamt that up and I thought it would look cool. I was like, I want everything scratched out, and I want the words scratched out and stuff. So that was Victoria Broom. She's awesome. She's UK actor. And then obviously we have Pollyanna McIntosh, who has just directed her first feature film called Darling, which is just coming out now.
Oh.
So there's a little plug for Pollyanna there. And she's obviously in The Walking Dead, which makes us look super cool when everybody watches The Herd.
Yeah. So the stuff in the syringe, that's semen, obviously, right?
Yeah.
How does it work in the industry? Do they just get like how do they pump semen out of the...
Can I use kind of slang swear words in this? Okay, so they basically wank off a cow. You know, the cow doesn't have a choice in that sort of thing, which is really dark, if you ask me, that humans are kind of wanking off another species, which is kind of rape in it too.
Yeah.
And then they collect that semen, and then they that's when you see like them put their hands into cows, and then they inject that cow with semen. So it's not like the cows are just like wandering around and just like kind of fancy each other and decide, you know, to have sex, and then they have a baby. So that's, you know, they're artificially inseminated. So and that's why we've got these large gloves on Pollyanna, because they are the gloves.
That goes into the okay.
Yeah, they are the actual gloves that they use for inseminating cows. So yeah. Then we have John Camplin. So he's a British actor.
Badass.
Yeah.
What's LV stand for on his uniform?
So LV is the when you get to the ending and you have the commercial, so it's like lactas vitae, and I kind of
okay, yeah, the commercial.
Yeah, so I kind of liked the idea of creating this kind of other world that is, you know, just with it, like within where they are right now, there's this whole bigger like corporation going on outside of that. This is just a little part of it. These are just you know, a small section of thousands of women that have been used.
Come on, right here, she's lactating. I didn't get that immediately.
Yeah,
because I didn't read the synopsis of the film. It just popped up. Yeah.
So this room here, this room here was that and those concrete bits. That's an actual real cow. That's where cows used to live.
So these were the actual cages, or were they?
I had a guy called Phil, who we called Super Phil, who come and saved me in the art department from Yorkshire. And he welded these little bits of metal that we found, and we sourced them, and he put on the cages. But the concrete sections, you would have 2 cows in each section, in one section, because it was just complete luck that a friend, one of the guys that was in the special effects team, he was like, "Oh, I know someone who's just bought an old dairy farm kind of area that he's knocking down, and he's converting to something else." So all that blue, I painted that blue on there. And that was just blue paint I had left over from a job that I was art directing. And then, incidentally, it is a common color that is used in dairy and meat industry. And then obviously, and then the costumes I match so that what they're wearing goes. So it's very uniform. So so this space is a real concrete building that we painted and decorated, and in a week. And I just had people that had never done art department before, and I was up there trying to like production design whilst planning the week before. There was tears at one point. I think I may have maybe had a mini breakdown, but we got through it.
I can imagine.
So yeah.
Okay.
Hands, come on. It's like buses in here.
That guy is the asshole.
they're both assholes.
Well, that guy's even more of an ass.
But
he high fives him at one point. That's when I was like, "Wow, that's crazy."
So, the other two there, so that's Dylan Barnes. He came in like literally like 2 days.
Ass is out,
Not sorry.
2 days before we started shooting, because I had another actor called Craig Conway, who's actually in The Descent, and he couldn't do it, so he recommended Dylan. And Dylan plays such a horrible person, but in real life he's so lovely. And then Francesca. She was vegan and she has a little boy. So
which one's Francesca? The one in the cage?
The one that's just being dragged in. So if you press play.
You know the drill. If you don't fancy it.
Okay, that one.
Yeah. So him there.
This one. Hey. And then
she's vegan and she's got a little boy, so it was really powerful for her. So and it was really important for her to like play this part as well. So she's great British actress as well. So
See you anyway!
But the thing is, they're so nonchalant about it because, you know, in real life, they're animals. So they're essentially, you know, they're treating them like animals.
yeah,
Right? Okay.
yeah.
Now, I wasn't sure if her character is there at her own will or if she's being forced. Like in the movie, I wasn't exactly sure what happened.
Yeah, well, we kind
It's a
of have
backstory to her.
and the backstory is that she's kind of almost like there's a power struggle there between her being the boss of like these two guys that are working there, and it is very much that like she wants to, it's her job. She doesn't really want to be there, but she's there because she kind of feels that she's doing something right for these women by kind of caring for them. But her form of care is not really care. Like, because if she cared, she would try and get them out of there or something. So.
It almost like seems that she's a more humane way of doing the treatments than the two guys who would otherwise be doing it, right? So
yeah. So and it was important also to have a woman in there as well, because women are kind of ruled by patriarchy as well. So that was something that was really important, to have a female character in like as a baddie as well, to try and sort of get that message across. So Pollyanna is great to work with, because I remember I picked her up from the train station. We had a few Skype conversations beforehand. I met up with that's Victoria, and then Charlotte, who's given birth, I know anyway, and we had like lots of meetings and stuff. So when Polly came in, we had a really lovely chat about her character, and she brings really great suggestions towards her character as well. That's why she's got this tape pulling her eyes back sort of thing. So it's almost like, because at the end we see that they're making this product which is for anti-aging. Pollyanna her character doesn't use this product. She's using a different method to keep her face straight. So that's something that you might not really notice in there, which was Pollyanna's suggestion. Yeah. Now this is Charlotte Hunter. We've done lots of short films together. This was
which one? The one that's given. Well,
yeah, the one that's given birth. So filming this was as horrific as it is to watch.
Yeah.
May I ask? I remember I was in the other room sitting on a pile of bricks. That was my chair, the little monitor. I think we ran over an hour that day as well, and it was just because we shot obviously we're shooting during the day. But the cinematographer's, it looks like night. He's so good.
You just don't know what's coming. So is that a knife by her hand? What is that? What is he doing? What does he have by her neck there?
Oh, she's got a collar on. They've all got collars on, so he's holding her collar.
Oh, okay.
Because at the beginning, when you see him get Victoria and he drags her out, so they all got collars on.
Okay.
And that little plaster on her knees, because she actually grazed her knee. And I remember originally we had planned to put a mirror up on the wall there and a sink, but I just totally forgot about it because I was just production. There was just too much going on. And I remember Bart going, "Where's the mirror?" And I was like, "Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry." So we didn't do this minute, but we got the shadow, which is
so he just put the baby in. Did I hear water? Did he drown the babies?
Yeah. So he gets the hose, he puts it in the bucket, and he just drowns the baby.
Yeah, pretty disturbing.
Yeah. It's just like.
Again, it's very interesting to watch this, knowing what the parallel is.
It's weird.
Yeah, weird. Which one's the little girl? That one? Was that the one?
What do you mean? Oh no, so it's not.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll get to it.
Yeah. So this is one of my favourite scenes. I think the performances between Victoria and Charlotte now is absolutely amazing. And what I did off screen, because everyone was in, they were staying in like bed and breakfasts. So what I did was I purposely put Pollyanna in a room. I mean, she was like the biggest actor that we had. So she had a room with a double bed, that was like the nicest room, and I separated her to make sure she was separate from these two, and then I made sure that these two, that Victoria and Charlotte had little single beds in a room together so that they could bond, because they'd never met each other before as friends. And now they've gone and done short films together a couple of times, and they've worked together loads, which I absolutely love it when people do that and they find each other and go on and carry on being creative with each other.
So now her dialogue here, let me just rewind this.
And she's purposely cradling the blanket like as if it was a baby.
You can do it from there. With your hands, reach through.
Okay, what is she? Can you explain what she's getting at here?
Yeah. I mean, I think it should have been clearer. She kind of wants her to like try and kill her through the cage, like sort of.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, I know it's not clear enough. That's one thing that kind of annoys me a bit. It doesn't make enough sense. But that's kind of what she wants. She wants her to try and like find a way to kill her through there. I love this little camera move that we've done. We just had it on a little slider, and Bart is so good at operating.
I just mute it. Yeah, you were saying?
So Bart is his operating is just, yeah, it's fucking brilliant. So I love this little move that we did here, and with the music as well. Like Laurent, who did the music, like, and the sound design was just so much fun, and it was just, yeah, it's just all comes together when those things happen, which is really cool. So
it's fine. There's a happy face on that whatever that machine is there in the corner.
Yeah, that was one of the art department, the art director. He wanted to put that on there because he was just like, just all these little things just to make it just more fucked up, just to show how these people don't care about, because people don't care about cows or other animals. So we
other
really
beings,
yeah. And then this electric thing here. So this.
Yes. This was the moment that this is where I realized, okay, so don't they use this for livestock?
Yeah,
this is sort of the moment where I was like, oh, okay, I think they're supposed to be cows.
But what this is just the plastic end of a vacuum cleaner, 2 little wall plugs that you put in the wall, spray painted, bit of yellow tape, and then my friend Tristan, who did the prosthetics, he was like, you should put sparks on that as it goes past, and I was like, that's a good idea.
So that's the only visual effects in the film.
No, well, there's some more later on, but yeah. So that's just a plastic tube. People are like, wow, that's.
Oh yeah, I would have never guessed.
Definitely not a cattle prod. Yeah.
Hello, gorgeous. How we doing? Hey. That fucking hurt, did it? Have some. Stop fucking.
How often do in the industry do the cows get milked? Because you just keep coming in and out. It's almost like they're doing it 2-3 times a day.
You know what? I don't actually know how many times a day it is, but I mean, they just get milked until they can't produce milk anymore, and it is just relentless. So it could be a routine, like every morning, every afternoon sort of thing. So it's just until they can't, because it's just as they're lactating, because they've just given birth to a child, basically, as humans and any other animal does. So that'll just be squeezed out of them until they can't do it, and then they just get killed.
Right.
So, but I think this scene here was very much like, I wanted to actually just sort of just change it up, like bring in more of the abuse of like the control of like a man and a woman sort of thing. So it's a little bit more, it's not just about animals, it is about sort of abuse from men as well. So
in the dairy industry, FDA, they allow a certain percentage of bacteria in blood to stay in the product.
Yeah,
right.
They can't get it out. There's like, yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't think there's any blood in almonds.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's keep going.
You need to eat. Shut the fuck up, man. Hands. Give us your fucking hands, man, you daft cunt. Come on.
Problems?
Come on. Stay
It's
fucking
like checking
still.
her udders.
I know.
Stop. You think I'm fucking taking it back?
I kind of, it's funny because when
Hmm?
like Dylan was just like really struggling with this thing, and I decided to keep that in, and it sort of prolongs it a bit, but I wanted to show how shit he was, basically. Not as an actor, but just as a human. Like he's not doing his job properly, and of course then his boss is like, you got a problem there, mate, you know.
Right.
Just to sort of, you know, just emasculate him a little bit for his job, which I felt was like, yeah.
Heartbreaking. One of the actresses reminded me a little of Anna Kendrick. Kendrick, is that her name?
I don't know who that is.
No, that's okay. Google her. All right, so now, okay, so here, obviously, I know what happens, but like I would have liked to know that there was a little more scheming going on, because I mean she's doing this, but there's nobody in the room, right? Or are there cameras?
No, that's what do you mean?
Well, because she's reaching in to show that she's bleeding or something's happening.
Yeah.
You know, but there's nobody in the room, so why is she doing that? She could have just.
Well, she's supposed to have had a miscarriage, but we couldn't get the blood to come out and pool as much as we wanted. And
that's what happened. I thought she was faking it the entire time.
No, it wasn't pooling the way we want. I wanted it to be much bigger. And when you're running out of time, like you have to just deal with what you've got sometimes. Because, for instance, my job in the industry is I work as a standby art director, so I like make sure things are working on set. But I didn't have a person like that. So a lot of the, you know, I didn't have someone focusing on that as much as I would have liked to have.
Right.
And it was supposed to be a bigger pool of blood, and it wasn't coming through the tube. And that's what that is supposed to represent. Because it's almost like the film's broken into these little sections to try and show a passage of time. So this is her just supposed to be having a miscarriage, but it's kind of hard.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to see.
I thought this was maybe literally the next day or a few hours later.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It still works.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I see the blood now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then she's basically fed up because of what just happened. Okay, and then she doesn't want to go through the the ordeal.
Well, yeah. So she sat there, and he's just like, oh, fucking hell, I have to sort this out, you know.
Yeah.
And then her brain is like, right, this is an opportunity for me.
This scene,
yeah.
Like, at this point, I already knew that there were supposed to be animals. It reminds me of the scene in even Planet of the Apes. When Yeah, when Oscar's escaping and all the chimps are going, go, 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 type of thing.
Yeah. Well, this is like, it was really cool because that's my friend Aphrodite. She's Greek, and she was
really
like,
Aphrodite.
Yeah, so she's like, I really want to come up and be in your film, and then Marixa, she's a vegan, and she saw the crowdfund campaign. She's like, I live in Yorkshire, I really want to be part of your film. And she's like, she was speaking it, so like everyone's mother tongues were like Greek or Spanish. And I said, look, I want to show that these women have come from everywhere. So I got everyone to say things. So they're like, kill him, grab the keys. And that's why I wanted to record and have different languages in there, because this is a global issue. And I didn't want them to just be in a British, like an English accent, basically.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Guys, keep going.
Funny thing, when she spat, when I was like going through the rushes, she spat in his mouth. And I don't know if either of them knew that, but like when I was watching, I was like, oh, she spat in his mouth. That's so great.
Well, I don't know now.
Yeah.
I like that she acted, you know, because a lot of these films, you know, they don't finish them off. You know, they'll kick him and then they'll run away. They're gonna kill you if you don't. Okay, this part I was like, I don't know if she would have enough strength to overpower him. Like, that's my only sort of thing about
I
that.
know, but it's a movie. No one ever has strength. Look at these fight scenes that go on in movies. She's so good. Her face is so good. She's using all her power here.
Still a very graphic scene.
And the music as well just builds up. The music just super builds up as well. It's like it's so lovely when you hear when it all comes together and stuff. And Victoria, like the pain on her face as well. It's like she's badass.
Yeah. It's choking him just long enough, you know. She's not doing it. Oh, yeah, not long enough. That's not her spin, is it?
Yeah. I love how she goes completely feral. And this was a little set build that we did off the building that we were filming on. And I will just say that like the building, whilst I was up there for a week, there was just a massive pile of bricks. So if you just pause it here, there was a massive pile of bricks, and it wasn't until like about 2 days before we had to shoot, the pile of bricks got moved. And then they got moved into another set, so they were just in the way. And I was just freaking out, like, I have to build this set, but it's like, and then we ran out of materials, so I was just using whatever was around. And then this was just this shot here. So that there holding obviously it's not a real cattle gun, it's just like a drill thing. That's Ed Pope, the writer. So I was like, Ed, you're getting in this. And this was just, so this is filmed in the room that we started in. And I just put a door in front of the camera and we just pulled the camera up. So it just goes together, and I just threw blood on the back of the wall, and then we killed Francesca. So
yeah, this is a good scene. I mean, most people would know that is a cattle gun, right?
Yeah. It's horrible.
I mean, I know this because of that movie, with No Country for Old Men.
Oh yeah. Well, what they are, it's just like it's a metal rod that just goes.
It's a piston, right? It goes in and out.
Yeah, it just goes in and out of the brain, basically. That's what that is.
It's not the money shot, right?
There was no money.
The credit card shot.
Yeah. So this is now goes into a set build, which was on the side of a real building. Graphic design is really important to me. You can say so much with signs and stuff. So this was a set build, and we just used the same pieces of set, each 3 little rooms. So we had that, and then it went on and then on, and we had to keep changing and moving parts of the set around and build the set as we went along in the day. And this is our cool VFX shot. So
it's like the Matrix.
Yeah, it's like we just shot like 4 women on one side, and then my friend Jonathan and his partner Monica, and my friend Alex Chandon, who's a director as well, all worked on it, all for free because they're all amazing, and they just built this room for me. So yeah, so good. And like you can see on the one on the left hand side, you can like Alex put it, so and now you can see the little bits of milk actually going through the tubes on the one right on the left hand side.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long did it take to shoot that one scene?
What,
with putting together the set and everything.
See, when she looked through the window, I think there was just nothing there, so she's just making all that up. And then that tube there on the side, that's just a bit of carpet tube. You can still see a bit of print on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with sand and glue and stuff. And I'm like, just put sand and glue on that.
Very resourceful.
Yeah, we had to be.
You know what? There was a movie that I remember seeing maybe 7 years ago, late at night. I wouldn't even remember what it was. It was kind of like a horror short film. It was, maybe you would know what it is. 'Cause I've been trying to figure out what it was. It was a woman basically woke up, and I think it was in a tub, kind of like very similar setting like this. And then she was trying to escape this maze, this building. And at the end, I remember there was like a giant fence. It was like a fenced-off commercial building. And she found other women in there as well, and she helped them escape. You want to remember what, or no? Doesn't strike a
No.
chord? I remember it was really good, and I remember it came to mind when I was watching your film. I tried Googling it, but I couldn't find it.
Oh, okay. So this is my friend's daughter.
Okay.
So she just done a bit of acting, so she got put in it.
So these are the babies waiting to grow before they get.
Yeah, so they're the
Disseminated.
females. So originally I wanted a VFX thing like this as well. So we had a shot that went on as a bigger room, but we just didn't have the time to do it. And I knew that what we had enough to say what we were doing. So, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't need all this fancy stuff as long as the message can get out there.
Yeah, I mean, you already had a lot of good shots, so I mean, it
Yeah.
probably would have been maybe even overkill or overspend.
Yeah. There's Ed again.
Yeah. So some time has passed now, obviously.
Yeah. So she's escaped. She's grabbed
Yeah.
the knife. She's gone nuts.
We've got to get out of here. Okay? Yeah.
It's good acting.
Get off me! Get off me! Open them up! Open them up!
This is the horror scene right there, right?
Look at her eye.
Yeah.
Looking at the knife. I just say,
They cut her tongue.
so this scene, I remember on the day, because obviously we didn't have any stunt coordinators or anything like that. And I remember Pollyanna was getting ready, and I stood in as Pollyanna to like with Charlotte Victoria to try and so we could figure out how we were doing all the moves and stuff. So and they're all just such great actors that it was just like they were all like Pollyanna's like just grab my mouth, pull my mouth open. And then Pollyanna was like, I think I should wear blue gloves so you can really separate my hands from their hands. And the tongue cutting is something because we wanted to make her so that she had no voice. Which is obviously what cows don't have a voice, so that then therefore she was just what happens to her afterwards she just becomes she's just another product basically. She's just an object. She's not important basically, and we just wanted her to lose her voice so that she could become like what happens to cows. So
Then you got the heartbeat pumping, yep. So she became an animal without losing her voice. With losing her voice.
she's kind of she's wailing like the way cows wail. And then in Greek, you've got like Aphrodite shouting. I think she's calling her a whore and a bitch, and like she's just like shouting abuse at her basically. So it's the way that you can put swear words in. So everyone knows.
Now that we have our full medical approval, we can get our main production facility online.
And then it turns to this guy, the owner of the company, right?
This guy here is, incidentally, there's a film that's really everyone knows called This Is England. And I didn't even think about it at the time whatsoever. I just really love Andrew because I worked with him on a feature film in Budapest once. And then I'd worked with Seamus on something called Inbred, which is a horror feature in Yorkshire. So, and I just knew that he had the perfect look for it. And Andrew was supposed to play one of the other guys, but he had a This Is England thing workshop, so he couldn't do it. But the swap actually worked really well.
Which one is Andrew here?
So Andrew's the guy, like he's got the blue suit on.
The
So
guard,
he's like,
okay.
yeah, he's like kind of one of the workers because they're indisposable just as much as the cows are, or the women are, basically. But he was funny because he always works on films where he's written a lot of improv, and he was like, "This is the first time I've actually got to learn all my lines." Now I was like, "Yeah." And his character in This Is England is called Milky. So, but I didn't think about that at all until somebody mentioned it at a Q&A once, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't think about
Meant to be, right?
that." Yeah, so he's great.
And on the right, we have our in-house breeding program, which eliminates any need to transport livestock, that sort of thing.
I remember when we first started this program. Bloody nightmare. Shipping them in from all over.
Oh, I apologise about the mess as well. You know, we have to deal with some unruly behaviour every once in a while. Losses in staff and livestock.
I would say I storyboarded a little bit of this scene, and I knew that we were in the corridor, and I was like, how do we get us out of that corridor into where they are? And I remember when I figured out that shot, I was so proud of myself. And then Bart was like, let's move into this, and then it transitions into this.
Lactus vitae.
This
Our
is
unique
brilliant.
formula utilizes nourishing ingredients, creating an exclusive range of skincare and anti-aging products. With our patented colostrum proteins, Lactus vitae smooths, hydrates, firms, reduces wrinkles. Lactus vitae, the milk of life.
I've got such a funny sense of humor. So originally, this commercial bit wasn't actually in the original script, and I was like, we all know it's about dairy industry, but we still have to make it as if it like a solid like film, and I think we need a reason why these women are being milked.
Right.
And that's why I put that. And then Sarah Jane Honeywell is a vegan, and she's done a lot of stuff for like PETA and stuff, and she's done like posing naked on a plate. So she's kind of like a known vegan kind of activist celebrity. So that's why I kind of got her in there. But that location that we got, because that was, sometimes things just happen, and we were just going to get a white psych and just film in that. I had no chair or anything, and then I went to a local photography studio, and I went in there and went, oh my god, this is amazing, oh it's a shame we can't film in here. And they were like, oh, you can come and film in there. So we filmed that scene the day everyone was coming to set, and me and Bart and the camera team and the gaffer, we just sort of went and quickly filmed that the night before we actually, because the shoot was 3 days, and then we did that like the evening before whilst everyone was coming to set. So it was just like, oh, these things just sometimes fall into place, because I was like, oh my god, it would have been really shit. But then Mike Pryor, the Video Arcade, he did all the graphics and stuff for me as well. So I wanted to do something slick. I wanted to show that I was capable of making commercials as well. So this bit, I find I can't. I really struggle. I struggle watching myself, to be quite honest. So
there's. I mean, I've watched documentaries like this. There's been a lot more gruesome things. One of the things that impacted me was when I got a forward on Facebook to save those Swedish white rabbits. They're very fluffy for Zara.
Oh, right, the Angora.
Yeah, and then it's a video of the Angora rabbits being plucked live, and they start screaming. Oh my goodness.
Well, that's what they do with ducks as well for like down. That's what happens with birds. They just pick it out of them, and then they grow it back, and then they pick it out of them, and then they grow it back. It's horrible. It's like, imagine if someone's just pulling your hair out.
Yeah, the teachers used to do that to me in Poland. You know, they used to grab us right here by the sides and then pull it. So I just imagine what it feels like whenever.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's a whole sequence which I've just repeated. So you've got insemination, you've got the pregnancy, you've got the babies, you've got the babies taken away from the mothers. So this was really important to me, so that people could. I was like, you know what? It's like right at the end, I'm literally just punching people in the face so that they can really see what's happening. And I'm a big fan of David Fincher's work, and like I was this was influenced me from like
it's like Seven, even the title.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a massive fan. Seven's one of my favorite movies, so this was kind of the look that I was going for with this. So honestly, I don't know how Mike edited this. And then Lauren composed the piece of music just for this title sequence as well. That's like when it says composer Laura Bernard, it has this like great sort of
heavy metal punk.
Yeah, well he's actually
pausing.
And then it has a pause when it has his name. I was like, nice one, Lags. But he plays guitar in a band called The Gallows. So we've got a similar background and taste in music, and we both like the same sort of music. So, and I really wanted something composed. And you can buy a cassette tape of the music. I'll send you a cassette tape of the music from the film.
An actual cassette? Because I don't have a player.
Most people don't, but
actually, no, I do have a player. I have something that digitizes it into a MP4.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so and then this song is... I mean, I like my punk and I like my hardcore, and I love the fact that you'll be in a movie theater and then suddenly this comes on and everyone's like, oh, it's too much. And I'm like, and this song is about the dairy industry. So my ex-boyfriend at the time worked on the film, and this was one of his fans.
All right, well, so congratulations on the job well done. Have you been contacted by organizations like PETA where they would try and work with you to promote this in anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, when I first, because obviously, like, I made it, and then it just, I went down the filmmaker's route, so I made it, and I'd kept it offline for a year, and I just put it into festivals. It probably, because I was the only person promoting it and marketing it and trying to get people to see it, blah, 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 I don't think it was quite successful in the film festival, sort of like way that it could have been, because I've now learned from making this film how to do that properly. And then this is all our wonderful people that donated to us on the credits. And then Fry's Family Food, and just stuff. So PETA have got the film, and I've given them permission to like edit it to make their own kind of form of like dairy stuff, because I've used bits of PETA videos in the credits. So, you know, the most important thing for me is like, once we've done the festival run, I put it online for free. Because for me, is getting that message out there to help influence people. Because basically, if people go, I'm going vegan, I'm not doing milk or dairy or anything like that anymore, you're basically saving lives. So that was the most important thing for me. You know, as a filmmaker, I've gone on this amazing journey, and as a vegan and animal rights activist, this film has like take me on another journey as well. So it's just like all these amazing factors and stuff. But I'm now working with a producer in the US who watched The Herd through some other horror stuff that I did. I did something in Atlanta last year, and she saw the potential, and she's like, look, you know, and I'm like, imagine if you gave me a team and money that I could do. So
I spoke to one of the producers of Saw.
Oh, okay, yeah.
3 years ago, because we had a short on our channel that's got like 5 million views, and it's very gory, and they wanted them to sort of help them with the project. I'll see if I can make an intro. I mean, what I get quite frustrated about, like, a lot of people don't actually take me very seriously when they meet me. Oh, because of the way you look?
I think so, and I think the way that I talk, I've been told recently by a very big online platform, film platform, that I'm not in a position to be making feature films yet. I've just come off working as a standby art director on a 6-month job. You tell me I ain't got any stamina, and I did this for like hardly any money.
Well, it means people like that to give, you know, people like you strength and energy to, you know, show them wrong and then come up with better material, right?
I am very much like, if you tell me that sort of thing, then I will just be like, right, that is it.
Yeah, honestly, it's like it only takes one person to make an intro, or one person to see your film to change, right? So it's hard not to take things like that personally, but you got to imagine, you know, you put yourself out there, you got to expect criticism.
You can only do your best with anything, and it's like, so you just try your best, you do the best you possibly can. You know, there's times where you're just like, why are they doing that and I'm not doing that? And
honestly, it's who you know, and it's all branding. It's how are you perceived to other people. My next question was going to be, can you share any spoilers on upcoming project?
I'm working on a LGBTQ paranormal kind of thriller. We've been developing a script for about a year now. It's got a great producer now. She's like really experienced. She's great. She was like an Oscar-winning producer of Crazy Heart, and she's more into nurturing a director and seeing their potential and working with it. I've learned so much over the last year. I'm working on something else, which is from the UK. It's more of a kind of creature monster, kind of dystopian post-Brexit Britain, kind of fairy kind of story.
Wow, you're covering all the genres. If it doesn't work, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, but you know what? Like I was saying, that I love John Carpenter, and if you look at his work and what he's done all these different.
That's the Escape from New York guy, right?
Yeah. And The Thing. Like, look at They Live. You know, you put the glasses on, you put the glasses off. It's so relevant today. And I'm noticing my own repetitive things in these two features I'm developing at the moment. I've noticed there's a couple of things that I'm putting in each one that are making them really similar. And that's obviously just me as a character, because you put yourself into.
Well, that's your style. You got like Tim Burton's got a style. You've got.
Yeah, I did a little short after The Herd, which is like a third thing. It wasn't as strong as The Herd, and I'm like, you know what?
Is that the one?
You lean back a bit and pop your chin up. It's got a similar style and stuff, so I kind of want to make films that cover all aspects of like animal rights issues and stuff, but like do it in a mainstream kind of way. But then patriarchy and women's rights and equality is something that I'm more likely to get funding for right now, which is almost, it's like I'm making a big version, like an Escape style thing, and then I'll do a big version like The Herd again. That's how I make these plans in my head, and then I'm kind of constantly trying to make it happen for real. So,
well, yeah. I'm sure it's gonna work out for you. You managed to get here so far, right?
Yeah, I don't know what else to do with myself.
Right. But I want to just really quickly before we go ask you to share some insight for up and coming filmmakers, just not from the perspective of a genre or anything, just in general. If you had to give anybody any advice who's graduating from a film college or film university, what is it that you would tell them to focus on?
I mean, I never went to film school. I've just learned from being on set, and I think trying to get on set and actually being on other sets, you can really learn how it works. Like even just the jargon and the way that a set can run on the floor. For making your own stuff, like you just got to do it. Find your friends. The great thing is if you have worked on other people's movies or you've been a PA on something, it helps if you can drive, because then people will totally hire you as a PA. And that's where you'll also make friends, you'll make contacts. You could be like, okay, you might make friends in the camera department, the costume department, makeup department, because that's what I've done. Luckily I have some great friends, and I've worked on their short films for free. They've worked on my short films for free. And you know what? Sometimes you might think that there's something that you want to do. You might be like, oh, I want to be a writer, director, and then you might realize you're actually better at writing, and directing is too stressful. Or you might go, actually, I fancy producing and stuff like that. So I think just go and work on other people's projects, and you just got to do it. You just got to do it. It's
Take action.
Yeah, and you just got to push it. It's hard because sometimes it can be really disheartening, and you know, there could be days like I'll spend a day when I've just done nothing all day, and I'm just like there battling with myself about what's going on. And you know, when it works, and it's fantastic, and you get a buzz, and once other people get involved, it's absolutely great. But there is times when, you know, it can be really up and down, the film industry. But and you know, when you start making friends and other people, and you can go, like, I felt I got a knockback about something to do with script last week, and I phoned up my film friend, and I was like, can I just come over for a coffee? I just need to get this off my chest, sort of thing. So I think like just supporting each other as well. So there's not enough support for mental health for people that work in the film industry, because it can be really shit at times. But at other times it's great. Like for me, I think it's just like the greatest form of art. So, but you just got to get out. You just got to get out there and do it.
Yeah. Well, listen, everybody likes to go into the movies, right?
Yeah,
everybody wants to escape their shitty lives.
Yeah, exactly. I love going to the movies. If I'm bored at home, I'm lucky I can walk to the local cinema. So if I'm bored, I just look up what's on, and I'll go and watch. Like, I love independent movies and I love blockbusters. You know.
Okay,
like,
so finally, just recommend us a couple of films that the audience can watch that you think they would enjoy. Not specifically about horror or veganism or feminism, just just in general?
The latest movie that I saw that I thought was absolutely brilliant was Booksmart.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen it. It's like, it's kind of like a comedy, so it's a coming of age comedy, but it's with females, and they go to a party and stuff, and just the dialogue and the acting, it's so fresh and new. It's amazing. And then I will say horror movies. I am a massive fan, like I said, John Carpenter, The Thing, They Live. A big fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well. I'm a massive fan of The Babadook as well, which is actually deals with grief. And it's the look of it. I love the design of it, the sound of it, everything. That's one of my favorite movies. I'm such a sucker for that movie. So yeah.
So I definitely thank you for giving me like an hour and a half of your time.
That's quite all right. I enjoyed it. It was good.
Good. So I hope I wish you luck. I wish you continued success and pumping out the really projects that you're passionate about. And for anybody out there who wants to learn more information about veganism and feminism, I guess go to Melanie's website.
Just hit me up.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you share, like, and subscribe. And check out the community tab. That's where we're going to be putting, I guess, parts of this interview, because this spread probably over 3 parts. But again, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next time.